step-by-step instructions on how to remotely control a Wi-Fi model from your phone, including smooth adjustment of movement speed and rotation angle of the front wheels using a servo motor. The first part, components used. The heart of the project is the Node MCU V3 board with the ESP8266 chip. This is an analog of Arduino, but with a built-in Wi-Fi module and slightly different functionality. Motors with wheels are cheap, simple and in demand. To control the motors, I will need two MX1508 driver. The MG90S servo motor will turn the front wheels. No driver needed. The power source will be lithium 1865 batteries. TP4056 board will charge the batteries and monitor the discharge. The screen displays a complete set of components for the project. Part 2. Connecting the board to the computer. The first thing is to match a microcontroller and the computer. To do this, you need to install the driver suitable for your board. My board has a CP340 chip, rectangular. You may have a board with a square CP2102 chip. Find the appropriate driver for your system. Connect the Node MCU board to the computer via USB cable. Install the driver. To verify the driver installation, open the device manager and find its name in the list of COM ports. The driver is now installed. You have to save the port number. The Arduino IDE is used to program the Arduino platform. This is a small text editor that's convenient to writing code. It also handles compilation and uploading to a microcontroller. Go to the website arduino.cc. Software. Select the installer version for your system. Download, just download. Run the installer as an administrator. Installation completed. Let's launch it. Now we need to specify which board we are working with in the editor. There are many variations of Arduino available in the platform list, but the Node MCU, or other name ESP8266, is not listed. Open File, Settings. In the Board Manager URL section at the bottom, paste the link from the description under my video. Now open the Board Manager from the Tools menu. At the end of the list you'll find ESP8266. Install it. Open the board list again and select Node MCU 1.0. Now the Arduino IDE recognized the board we are working with. However, we still need to select the USB port is connected to. Remember the COM port number from the device manager. Select yours here. That's it. We've established the connection between the board and the computer, but it's a good idea to test it. Insert the test sketch blinking LED. Examples is ESP8266 blink. The Node MCU board has a built-in LED connected to output D0. The program will turn it on for 500 milliseconds and then turn it off in a loop. Check Verify. The editor will check the code and display information for the developer at the bottom of the screen. If everything is correct, proceed. Check Upload. The program will compile, encode and upload it to the board. Upload complete. The board is now running the code. Excellent. This means that everything is working and you can move on to building the model. Part 3. Assembling the model. I'll try to show you a circuit of how all components are connected. I won't demonstrate the soldering process here, but you can watch the building of chassis and body in other video on my channel. The entire circuit will be powered by 1865 lithium batteries connected in parallel. Average voltage 3.7 volts. Total capacity 6800 mAh. Using a single battery is possible, but it will run out faster. We connect the batteries to the contact of the charging and protection board TP4056. We will remove the voltage from these contacts and feed it into the circuit. The Node MCU board operates with a voltage of 3 volts, unlike Arduino, which operates with 5 volts. The board can be powered in 3 ways: via a 5 volts USB cable, for example from a power bank, via VIN contacts with voltage from 5 to 20 volts, for example from battery assemblies, or directly with a voltage of about about 3 volts to one of the 3 volt pins. We will avoid additional converters and power the board using the third method, supplying 3.7 volts to the 3 volts pins. With fully charged batteries, the voltage will be 4 and 2 volts. However, in my experience, the Node MCU board had no issues with this. I'll add a switch to the positive terminal to disconnect the batteries from the circuit. Now that the brains of the project are powered, let's proceed to connect the execute components, I mean the motors. The servo motor is connected easily. The red wire connects to the positive terminal of the circuit, the brown wire to the ground, negative, and the yellow wire to the one of the digit pins of the microcontroller, for example D1. It's more difficult with motors. The Node MCU board isn't designed to power high current devices. Therefore, you need to use a driver, such as MX1508. The driver has power contacts that supply from 2 to 10 volts. The same voltage will be transmitted to the motors. The driver independently controls 2 motors. They connect to the motor A and motor B contacts. For each motor, there are 2 control contacts, receiving digital signals from the microcontroller, and they support pulse width modulation. That is, adjustment of the rotation speed. For example, when a logic 1 is applied from the microcontroller to pin in 1, motor 1 will rotate in one direction at maximum speed. When logic 1 is fed to in 2, it rotates in the opposite direction. The rotation speed can be adjusted using PWM signal. So, we have a complete assembly circuit. We will replace the lines sketched on paper with wires and place the electronics into the car body. In my case, this is the model I've built. Part 4. The code. Of course, we won't write code from scratch and create a phone application over again. Let's use the Remote XY service. Go to the website remotexy.com and register. Start a new project. Firstly, configure the hardware parameters. Connection, select Wi-Fi. Board, ESP8266. Model, Wi-Fi model on a board. Development environment, Arduino IDE. Apply the settings. In the second section, set the name of the Wi-Fi device and the password for connection as your preference. The third section is about phone screen settings. I chose a horizontal black screen. On the left you'll find many elements of the future interface. We'll need 2 solders, forward, backward and left, right. Click them and adjust their positions as you want. For each slider, set the 0 position in the center. That's it, the interface is now ready. Now click Get Source Code to generate program code. Select Copy and paste into the Arduino IDE editor. The final step is to customize the code to suit our needs. To work with Remote XY commands, you need to connect the library. Search for it on Google. Download the latest version. Move the archive to the folder containing Arduino libraries. Add the library through the menu. Select the path to the zip archive. Now let's take a quick look at the source code. In the lines 13 and 14 we have Wi-Fi access settings. The set of numbers of curly brackets represents settings for the appearance for the phone interface. Now let's add a bit of our own customization. To work with the servo motor, we need to connect the appropriate library. Sketch, include library, servo. Set the name of the servo My Servo. Assign the name forward movement to contact D7 and backward movement to contact D8. In the setup section, we connect the servo to pin D1. Ensure that pins D2 and D4 are set as outputs. In the loop section, create a variable ms. It will take the value of slider number 1. Turning the servo 90 degrees to the left corresponds to a PWM signal with a pulse length of 500 microseconds. 90 degrees to the right corresponds to 2500 microseconds, and the center position corresponds to 1500 microseconds. We need to convert the range of slider 1 minus 100 to plus 100 to a pulse range of 500 to 2500 microseconds, which can be achieved using a simple formula. Feed the resulting value to the output of the microcontroller. So receiving a slider value of -100 will result in a pulse length of 500 being sent to the servo, corresponding to a rotation to the left by 90 degrees. However, my turning machine is not capable to turning at such extreme angles. Therefore, I'll adjust the pulse range to be from 700 to 2300 microseconds. Now let's create a variable called go, which is responsible for moving forward and backward. It will take the values of slider 2. Slider 2 also has a range of value from -100 to +100, where -100 is moving backwards at maximum speed. A value of 0 means the machine is still. We'll control the motor speed using PWM signal. Node MCU operates with values from 0 to 1023. Let's create a condition that if the slider value is more than 0, we will send a PWM signal to the motors with the same value, multiplied by 10. So if the slider is at +100, a PWM signal with a value of 1000 will be sent to the motor. Otherwise, since the slider value is less than 0, we will do the same thing, but for the pin responsible for backward movement. If the slider value is 0, no signal will be sent to the motor. That's all. The entire program is now ready. Click check. If there are no errors, load the sketch into the microcontroller. Part 5. Though the machine is ready, to control it, you need to install the remote XY application to your phone. There are no need to register on your phone. All information is already stored on the microcontroller. We just need to find a Wi-Fi device, connect to it, and our interface will appear on the screen. The phone required all the necessary data from the microcontroller. That's it, you are good to go. Part 6. Conclusion. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the wrap. We've just fashioned the most basic remote control for our little techno wonder. Sure, there are other ways to do it, but hey, simplicity is our middle name. Why complicate things when you can keep it chill and minimalistic? Lastly, I'd like to expand a bit on the topic of using Node MCU. The board allows you to control the model not only directly via Wi-Fi, but also via Internet. When the remote control is connected to one internet source and the car is connected to another, they can be at an unlimited distance from each other. You could even imagine creating a Mars rover and sending it far from home, not to Mars but to a similar landscape on Earth, perhaps uninhabited area. The main condition is to have mobile internet in this area. To access the internet and broadcast video, you can install an old mobile phone on the rover, which will catch the network and provide Wi-Fi. Additionally, you can broadcast video using instant messengers by simply making a video call. However, the rover will have limited battery life. Therefore, it will need solar panels. Their power won't be enough for constant online work, movement and video broadcasting. Thus, the rover must be capable of hibernating and recharging, and then waking up to contact the operator again. So, picture this. You trust a rover out there in the great unknown, blazing trails like a champ. You are the brains behind the operation, sending it on epic quests, and maybe even stumbling upon hidden treasures buried deep within the Earth's crust. And hey, who knows, you might even cultivate a potato, because why not? Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks for tuning into our DIY Tech Party. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more out of this world adventures. Until next time, keep tinkering, keep exploring, and keep those DIY dreams alive.